I can't sleep anymore. My husband was always worried about his appearance, always fixing up his hair, making sure his clothes weren't crumpled, cleaning up his shoes to get rid of any dirt or dust. His dirty blonde hair was always perfectly coiffed, his salt and pepper beard always brushed, his teeth always whitened to that weird, uncanny valley shade of white. His beautiful, icy blue eyes were my favorite part about him, though. They really could pierce through the darkness in the best way possible. My husband wanted to try this brand new miracle drug. Get rid of wrinkles in as little as 3 days. Those commercials peddled. It was supposed to be a way to de-age yourself several years back. I told him he was perfect the way he was. He didn't need to get rid of his worry lines that creased his forehead. His hair hadn't even thinned, but he claimed that he wanted his old hair back. We had ordered these little pink pills from a really sketchy website. You know, the ones that look like you needed to check your bank activity to make sure you didn't just hand over your life savings to some lowlife that was going to hack you. They had arrived within the day. The package came in a cardboard box, our address listed on the shipping label. "Darling, there's no return addresses there?" I asked. "What if we need to return them?" "Don't be silly, honey. They're going to work. For the price of these bastards, I'm going to make sure that they do," he reassured me. My husband, though, he's very impatient. Even waiting as little as 3 days seemed to be as if he was waiting for a garden to grow. The first day I noticed that the little gray hairs that speckled his beard had started to go away. Where there was a solid handful the day before, there was only 1 or 2 remaining. The second day, the little laugh lines he had grown from all of our years of being happy and making memories started to fade. They weren't all the way gone, sure, but they were fading. It had honestly made me quite sad. I loved those little perfect imperfections. It showed me that we had lived a nice, happy life. By the 3rd day, he was growing impatient, as he normally does. "Honey, what do you think would happen if I just took all of them at once?" he had asked me. "Probably nothing good, darling. You could overdose," I told him. "But what if I can get the look I want sooner? These things are fucking expensive, and I think they should work sooner than this. It doesn't even feel like it's working." "You're being ridiculous, darling. I can see it working from here," I spat. "Not soon enough." The 4th day, I wish I had watched him closer. It was the weekend for us. We had planned to run errands together. Groceries, picking up odds and ends, what have you. I was sipping my cup of coffee in the dining room, waiting for him to preen his hair. Then I heard the glass breaking and him screaming. Running into the bathroom, scared out of my mind. I can't get that image out of my head. The empty pill bottle on the counter, the blood spattering the sink, the shattered mirror. His feet. They were flat, like the bones and the muscle mass completely eviscerated. It was slowly working its way up his legs rolling up like an empty tube of toothpaste, his screaming reaching new heights. I tried to grab him. I tried to calm him, but my eyes weren't working, were they? There was no way I was seeing his kneecaps fold in on themselves, the little discs snapping and crumbling to dust. He was on the floor now, watching the invisible wood chipper destroying everything under his skin. He was yelling for me to make it stop. I don't know why I didn't call 911 right then. Maybe because I thought it was just a bad dream. How could this possibly be real? His thighs and pelvis was next. The strongest bones in the human body, his normally strong thighs, gone. I don't remember running out of the bathroom. I do remember his gargled screams. He was choking on his own blood, I know that much. There was so much blood everywhere. I finally got enough courage to call the police, trying to not scream at the operator who was just trying to do her job, that my husband was being destroyed from the inside, that he took these mystery pills from this shady-ass website. "Have you taken any of these pills, ma'am?" she asked too calmly. "No, I didn't take any of those freaking pills," I screamed at her. "Okay, how many did your husband take?" God, she was infuriatingly calm. "I don't know, like 25. Please just get to my house and help us." "Ma'am, do you know where you got the pills from?" she asked. The screams stopped abruptly, like the ash finally ripped his vocal cords out. The silence was deafening. Dropping the phone, I dared to take a look into the bathroom. God, I wish I hadn't. My husband was nothing more than a skin suit left on the bathroom floor. His skin floppy and perfect. Not a single blemish in sight. Even the blood was gone. The empty holes where his beautiful eyes used to sit were an open, gaping maw, showing the sinew and connective tissue on the inside of where his skull should be. His mouth still open as if he was shocked. A knock on the door jolted me out of my daze. "Hello, this is the police. Open up." A voice rang out from the front door. Thank God, I whispered to myself. I opened the door to 2 police officers, their hands on their hips reaching for their guns, as if I was some mad woman who was a danger to society. He's in the bathroom. I think he's dead. Please, help me," I choked out. The 2 officers looked at each other and brushed past me down to the bathroom. I couldn't bring myself to look. "Ma'am, is this the only bathroom?" I heard one of them ask. "Yes, why?" I replied, "There's nothing in here." He replied, almost with a sense of pity. My blood was cold, starting from my toes to the top of my head. The static that raised the goosebumps on my skin was palpable. There's no way. He was just there. Slowly creeping to the bathroom to dare to take a peek. There was nothing. The officers looking at each other like I was some mad woman who had gone off the deep end. He was just here. I repeated over and over again as they headed to the front door. One of them left a card to a local hospital, as if I was crazy. I sat down on the couch that night, truly at a loss of what to do. My husband of 8 years was gone. Nothing was left of him other than this stupid, unmarked orange pill bottle. I found out where he went, though. His skin suit was looking at me from the bedroom, his face and empty sockets peeking around the corner like a sick game of peekaboo. I can't even pretend to be brave enough to go down there. But he's just there, as still as a picture. He's still there, actually, as I'm writing this. His papery thin hand is grasping at the door frame, but there's no shape to it. It's just resting floppily on the wood, like a curtain drawn for the final act. It's midnight now, and I don't know what to do. I can't sleep, not with his skin suit looking at me from down the hall. I almost don't want to, for fear that he won't be there when I wake. It's been days. I haven't been able to sleep much. My body is actually making me do a series of micro-sleeps that leave me woozy. Each time I blink, 5 or 6 minutes pass. It's enough for that thing using my husband's likeness to slither down the hallway slowly. Each time I regain consciousness, he slowly inches forward. Towards what? I'm unsure of. Either me or the pill bottle or the front door to escape into the night. Stay awake. The credit card company was absolutely no help. The representative I got on the line told me there was absolutely no record of any online purchase of any type of medication. I cried in frustration at her, telling her it wasn't possible, that he had put a sizable charge on that card and there had to be something. We went in circles for a few minutes before she got snippy with me, saying that she was going to disconnect the call if I had no further questions. Stay awake. Of course I had questions. Where in the hell did this demonic pill come from? I can't remember the name of it either now. The lack of sleep has ruined my thought process. Another blink has left me in the dark for too long. There's something on my foot. Wake up, wake up, wake up. I woke up with him unhinging his mouth and trying to inhale me whole. My foot was already in his mouth, trying to take me into the void. His flimsy skin stretchy and pliable, trying to grip my leg by wrapping his wrapping paper arms around and tying them into a crude knot. I kicked and screamed and fought and was able to get the knot untied. I could hear him release what I think was a yell of anger. It came out more like a puff of air, whistling from the holes in his body. I was able to run into my bedroom and lock the door behind me. Thank God my phone was in my pocket. The police aren't going to be any help. They already proved that much. They think I deserve to be in the damn loony bin. But at least I can get something out there in case something happens to me. Some type of recording, and maybe it might get taken seriously here. He was trying to stuff himself under the gap in the door. I could see his fingers wiggling like seaweed trying to get a grip on the particle board. God, it was like watching someone push a towel under the door trying to keep a flood from ravishing their house. A towel. Fabric. I laughed, giggled even. The lack of sleep was truly getting to me. My husband was reduced to a freaking pile of skin cloth. I laughed to myself, huddled in the fetal position, rocking back and forth on my bed. I almost couldn't stop myself. I alternated between laughing and crying, thinking of my husband trying to get in the bedroom through the door gap. Then, I had the most brilliant idea I've had in a long time. I used to be a seamstress. I would make these beautiful dresses for brides and birthdays, cosplays for Comic Cons, or even repair what clothes we did have. I had all the supplies I would ever need, bought by my husband. Ripping the door open, I leapt over the remains of my husband, accidentally stepping on what I think was his shins. I could feel the skin between my toes acting like jello. Rushing down the stairs, I made it to my sewing room. There, in the corner, was my saving grace. It was perfect. I cried with relief knowing that it didn't get lost in the move. I waited and waited, nodding off sometimes. Stay awake. It took him a lot longer than I had hoped for him to make his way down the stairs. But that's okay. I would have him back soon enough. He reached the door frame, bow-legged from the weight of the skin suit trying to stay upright. I guess he got tired of slithering. I grasped his face in my hands. He was still wheezing that whistling sound from his facial orifices. Shh, my love. I have an idea, I whispered to him. It took me all day and all night to wrangle him onto the mannequin, but I did it. Thanked the old gods and knew that his skin was so pliable and rubbery. Staples and all the right parts of the skin into the cloth made it so he couldn't go anywhere easily. Nailing down the skin to the cloth was easier in some places. His feet looked as though they could start tapping to a tune. I ended up using staples and thread for his knees. The thread pulled taut to make his knee dimples, the staples on the backs of them to hold them down. I used skirt hoop wire and scotch tape to mold his fingers around the nub of the mannequin hands. They could bend and move and hold my hand just like they used to. His smile, though, held with fabric glue, was my favorite. I could use the glue to make wrinkles in his face again, mimicking those laugh lines I was so sad to see leave. I used teddy bear safety eyes in that icy blue and glued them into his eye holes. They were plastic and a little too small, but they worked for the idea I had. Maybe I can go to the craft store and get more lifelike ones. I need sleep, though, so I put the mannequin body in bed with me and wrapped his makeshift arms around myself. The whistling coming from his face almost sounds like his snores. It's just like things used to be. My husband is back, and he's perfect.